All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. It's early Thursday morning. I want to do a reaction video. Now, unless you've been sleeping or living under a rock, you see the tension that's going on in this presidential cycle for this election. Now, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room because in the black community, there is a great divide. There is division because you have those who say vote blue no matter who and vote for Kamala because she's a so-called black woman, which we know she's not black, but what they're really telling us is to vote for censorship, vote for unaliving babies all the way up until the ninth month, voting for open borders and amalgamation, voting for the transgendering of our children. Now, they sent out a lot of stars, or you can't call them stars. You have to call them entertainers and athletes to try to shame black men into voting for Kamala Harris, which is not going to work. It's a failed policy because when you look over at the black men who are supporting Kamala Harris, they are suspect. All of them are suspect. Even when you see the trolls that may come into your comments, they suspect because they'll say, well, why are you not standing with Kamala? And you ask them, are you standing with the transgendering of children? Are you standing with open borders and amalgamation? Are you standing with going against the Bible, the Quran, and anything righteous? You just want to vote for the Democrats because they have you brainwashed, they have you scared, they have you feeling like every white man is a racist. But on the other end of that, when they say every white man is a racist, on the flip side, they say every black man is an idiot or dummy. This is what they're pushing. Every American white man is a racist, and every American black man is a dummy, an idiot. That's what they're trying to push down our throat. While at the same time, they pushing a rainbow flag. They flooding our communities with Venezuelans and other immigrants who are competing not only for our jobs, but competing to overturn our cultural norms. This is what they want you to vote for. And see, the thing about it is the insults that come from the left. See, what happened with Roland Martin, when Jamal Green caught him at the DNC, that is a precursor to what's going to happen because the insults is going to make those shields not able to be around us. They're not going to be able to come around us. They're going to need to pay a lot of money for security. Their security budget is going to be a lot of money because at this point, the insults have went to the bone because you are telling black men that they have no mind and cannot vote for who they choose. And then you bring out a bunch of disgruntled women, a bunch of baby mamas that's mad. Have you noticed that the women that they use to say who are the backbone of the Democratic Party, few of them have black husbands. Few of them even love their own communities. They betrayed their communities for positions. They are willingly voting against the interest of their fathers, their brothers, and their sons for a position in the Democratic Party. So we already know as a collective of conservative black men that we're being betrayed. We know that you're betraying us. And in the back of our mind, we know that a Waltz Harris presidency is going to be very detrimental to us. They probably liable to create gulags to put us in. You know what a gulag is? A gulag is a Russian prison. It's a communist prison. We know. We could see it in her cackle, her maniacal cackle, as she laughs her way into the cars playing black agenda. So this reaction I'm doing is to Philip Scott. Philip Scott, I don't agree with everything he say over there with the African diaspora because I don't believe in Pan-Africanism. Because I've studied the history of Black Americans trying to go over there and unite with Africans. Study the history of Samuel K. Doe in Liberia, and you'll see it that they executed so-called Black Americans that went over there to try to infiltrate their country on the behalf of democratic American interests. See, they ignore the fact that the Democratic Party is the party of the KKK. They created the KKK. They created Jim Crow. Then they want to argue about, well, why you support Trump. You can't name one policy that Trump has done that has affected in a negative way the entire black community. Not like the Democrats. You know, the Clintons came up with NAFTA and outsourced jobs. And you got these people now under Bidenomics who are taking care of immigrants better than they are taking care of veterans. So you can keep sending out your shields, but we're not listening to them. We've already identified them as Benedict Arnolds, Judas, Brutus. We know they are traitors and they are selling out. And then they want to say, like the D.L. Hugleys and the Ricky Smileys get on there crying. Ain't nobody listening to no man who's made his career off wearing a dress. You comedians, you jokes. And you're joking, and your sense of entitlement is going to not make you able to even come around the black community. Because we don't want to hear it. Because your insults, your sense of entitlement is repugnant, to say the least. And like Roland Martin, when he actually seen Jamal Green in person, his eyes almost bugged out his head. Just think if he'd have seen him coming out of a bar or coming out or walking down the alley or anywhere wasn't that much security, because he went to screaming security, security, security. You shields are being played. You're being played. Because if you think that the Democrats actually care about your communities, you are the one that's dumb, not us, because they're showing you. Who would flood your community with Venezuelan gangs and give them better treatment than you, and then still put you out there to lead your people to a slaughter? Because that's what you're doing. And those ones who are undecided, cool, you undecided, don't vote for nobody. Don't vote for nobody if you undecided, because there's only two. You're just saying that you too weak to pick a side. See, I was raised by men, and the measure of a man is his ability to pick a side, his ability to be decisive. There are only two candidates in this election season. Cornel West doesn't count. Cornel West is pro-Palestinian. Everything come out his mouth is about Palestine. We don't have nothing to do with what's going on over there in Palestine. You say that we're supposed to have so much humanity for people on the other side of the world who care nothing about our suffering. They look at us the same way the Democratic Party looks at us, as the black man is dumb, the black man is weak, the black man in America can't think for himself. They come across the border and come into our country thinking that. And you think you can sell us Kamala Harris, the cause playing chameleon, and tampon Tim? Think about this. Tim Walz mandated to put tampons in a boy's bathroom and passed laws that allow children to be unalived in their mother's womb all the way up to 9 months. Could you imagine what they would do with the power of the presidency, the bully pulpit? Do you really think that we, as Black Americans and white Americans and Hispanic Americans could have a good country with these un-American candidates on the left. And then when you look at some podcasts, they act as if they can't pick a side. They act as if they're unsure. To me, that's cowardice. That's cowardice. And a lot of them are scared to say that they support Trump. They're scared to say that because people go, "Oh, I can't believe you support Trump." You got to look back and say, "I can't believe you support Kamala Harris. You support this Indian woman who all of a sudden wants to be black. Says she cooks collard greens in the bathtub, where she cleans her collard greens in the bathtub where people sit their booties. You know what I mean?" Then everywhere she goes, she come to Detroit talking about, "You better thank a union worker. You better do this." Man, that union, UAW, sold out their workers. Sold out their workers. Went against the Teamsters. And in October, laying off all these black people in Detroit. And she comes down here and switches her whole dialect. I knew that she was terrible when she said in her debate with Biden, when she was a young girl and she was being bused and they was integrating schools, she sat on a bus. It was a lie. She never experienced that. She was living in Canada. Just lying to you to your face. You would think by the way the Democrats are campaigning that there are no other people in this country other than black people. You know what I mean? Bringing out Meg Thee Stallion and Lil Jon and all these degenerates to appeal to us to get our vote. They bring out the degenerates. And then you have these weak Negroes who just come out, vote blue no matter who. No, you vote out blue no matter who. Now, I don't want to get too far off into me talking. I want to show you this clip. It's for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act. It's for education, commentary. And I'm standing on the First Amendment with all I say. Check this out.
So Nina Turner has, did an interview with someone. And you remember I talked about, if you had watched the live streams on the African Diaspora News channel, that the black man do not have a place in the Democrat Party. We talking about the straight-laced alpha black man. We don't have a place. If you are a black man, only way you have a place unless you're sassy and buck broken, or if you're LGBT. If you're not those men, then that's not a place for you. The straight-laced alpha black men are emasculated, talked down to. But I want you to hear what Nina Turner has to say. Since some of you won't listen unless a sister say it, let's go ahead and roll that.
What's your read on why so many black men, Hispanic voters have found in Trump something to admire, something even to vote for?
Madam Editor, I'm glad you asked me that question. For me, the Democratic Party emasculates black men.
Wow.
And I think Hispanic men probably feel the same way. And I say this because they weaponize identity. When and where we enter, who we are, how we identify is important to who we are, just like our fingerprints. But if you're not going to use my identity to advance a social justice cause, and you're just going to use my identity as a blunt force object, now I got a problem. So what the Democratic Party does, they put black women on a pedestal and they say, we're the mothers of the movement, or we saved the party. But yet you don't put forth policies that save black babies. You don't put forth policies that deal with the maternal death rate of black women and black babies in the United States of America. You don't do those things that lift and edify. Yes, identity is important. Both parties use it differently. Republicans use it to say that everybody black or brown or of a mixed race is somehow kind of way a DEI hire. They use it to say certain books will be banned. Don't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about how this country was formulated, because you might hurt a white child's feelings by saying that, yeah, chattel slavery existed. Oh, by the way, white powerful folks stole the land from the indigenous people. So all of those things, Chinese Exclusion Act. I mean, we can go down the list, but Democrats use it in a way that alienates other folks, and it offends me. So when I talk to black men across this country, they don't see themselves in this party. It's one thing to recognize the power and prowess of black women and the sacrifices that we make. It is another thing to put us above black men. The black struggle, black men and black women have to be together. We don't have the luxury to be separated. And so I resent the Democratic Party for doing that. And so black men do not see themselves in the party. That bravado, because we got a kind of masculine energy, and masculine energy is not all bad, but the type of bravado that Trump puts forward is still very much rooted in a hierarchical patriarchy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of men gravitate to that. Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
And Sister Nina, thank you, and God bless you for saying that. Black men don't have a place. And she's 100% right. A lot of black men, whether y'all agree with this or not, like Trump because Trump is about his money. That's one. A lot of black men are about their paper now. A lot of black men want to run their companies. A lot of black men want to be billionaires too, millionaires too. Yes, and there's a good ambition for black men to attain. You understand what I'm saying? Black men are reading these different books. Black men are studying. Black men don't want to work no jobs. Black men understand there's a glass ceiling at these jobs. And at these jobs, they will elevate a sister over a brother any day of the week. We see that as black men because that's the way they want it. They want it.
See, what he's finna do now, like I told you, I don't agree with everything Philip Scott says. He just has some good points sometimes. He's finna fall off into the trap. You know what I mean? Because he's finna make it about black women. You know what I mean? Now, there are a lot of black women who see the Democratic Party clearly. They see them clearly. And they're standing with black men against the Democratic Party. And they know that all white men are racist, and they know that all black men are idiots. But the inability to choose a side, to me, is always going to be cowardice, because there's only two to choose from. And one of them is going to run this country. And if we want a place in this country, we have to identify with our own morals and ethics. We can't be separated from our morals and our ethics. We can't be separated from our faith. We know point blank that the Democratic policies are anti-Christian, anti-Bible, anti-God, anti-Quran. You can't be a Muslim or a Christian and be on that side. So we know this is directly a battle against good and evil. It's not even about flesh and blood. It's about principalities and spiritual wickedness that we see being forced down our throats. So the inability to speak plainly about your position in this hour is cowardice, because we know that a Walsh-Harris presidency is the destruction of this country as we've known it. And I mean, it will be worse than a third world country, because we are surrounded by all our enemies that they've let across that border. Facts. Not even a third world country has so many enemies within their borders. Think about that. We got every country that has hated America within side of America at this hour. Why? because someone on a global level wants to collapse this country. How can you say China your enemy? How can you owe your enemy trillions of dollars? I'm just saying on a common sense level, you owe your enemy trillions of dollars. And your other enemies, you are tethered to by oil, while you assist your allies in fighting people all around the world. And then you're going to put puppets in office who will not put America first. People are voting for Trump because Trump is putting America first, not because they're idiots. We know that we cannot afford another Democratic 4 years. Another 4 years of putting everybody first. What does that look like to you? Let's watch some more.
Where our women don't respect us. And the best way for them not to respect you is you are less than financially. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of black men have figured out the cheat code of starting their own businesses, etc. And then you look at a dude like Trump, you know, they throw everything at him. So even with the assassination attempt that happened to President Trump, and look at how he took it. He put his fist up in the air talking about fight. Men respect that. Men respect the hell out of that. You understand? You know, all them cases they throwing at him, he's still standing, he's still doing his thing. A lot of men respect that. And we all know that's political. We all see that. That is completely political, every bit of that. We know that. But that's why a lot of dudes talking about Trump. Be honest with you, it's not that they like the Republican Party. That's not that. It's that they like how Trump get down. They like, you know how I say Trump saying he gonna get, you know, the biggest deportation or whatever. A lot of these black men are affected with this immigration deal. A lot of them are. And then look on the other side. Vice President Kamala Harris, what is she talking about? Bringing in more military-age males to dump on top of black men. That's what she's talking about. What is she talking about? Unaliving children in the womb. I don't know that the average black man don't be thinking about that. So why should we go? Why are you saying support? We have no place in that party. The straight-laced alpha black man is not LGBT. They not. So what they talking about over there? And then think about it. You working hard. A black man get him a little money. He want to invest. You know, he got him a TD Ameritrade, Robinhood account or whatever. And he's putting up maybe $1,000 a month, maybe $500, maybe even $300 a month on his account. And Kamala Harris talking about, oh yeah, we want to raise the capital gains from 20% to 44.6. Like, are you think about that? So all those men, they got something up there on the stock market trying to make them some extra money. Maybe some of these brothers are day traders. Some brothers do that. I met brothers that day trade. That's all they do, right? You want to hurt their pocketbook and take almost half their earnings away from them in a tax? Like, really? Why would any brother of any means vote for that lady? It doesn't make sense. Her policy is so anti what we working for as men. As men, we trying to work and build up our wealth and the different things we trying to do, and she trying to take it. And when she gonna take the money from us and give it to migrant men coming across that border. Like, no. So it's not only just we don't have a place, it's just downright disrespectful to what we trying to do as black men. These Democrat shields, most of them, they working a job. That's why they talk the way they talk. They working a job. A black man that has a business, he not thinking about that stuff she's talking about. Understand that. But shout out to Nina Turner. She gets it. She gets it, and that's right. We don't have a place. They'll literally have to turn their party upside down to give black men a place in that party. And they're not willing to do that right now.
Smiley was.
So, what do you think about what he said? Because they want to make it like there is some type of misogynistic reason we don't want Kamala Harris. We'd have voted for Condoleezza Rice. Yes, Condoleezza Rice would have made a good president, but not no Democrat, not that wicked party, not that party of weird science. Think about it. So in our community, in the Black community, there is a great divide. You know, I want to talk about the lady Yvette Carnell, who is leading the ADOS movement. If you're familiar with the ADOS movement, she was saying that we really shouldn't have been going hard with Roland Martin, as if we can be soft with traitors. You know, as Black men, we should be standing on business with all traitors. If you're a traitor, we standing on business with you. For sure. For sure. So when you hide behind your computer screens and you get in comments and you trolling, just know that there's a lot of us out here that's going to be standing on business when, you know, if you approach us with that slave talk and that plantation mentality, because we don't want to be on the Democratic Party. Because right now we know the Democratic Party is the greatest threat to our livelihood, to our families. And if you want to be on the front line for that, it's going to be on the front line. Going to be on the front line. Democrats love to put you on the front line and then won't even give you a hate bill or won't even assist you. Just throw you out there like fodder. Going to be that. Going to be that. Nobody is, I mean, nobody as a nation or a country cannot at some point deal with their traitors and the treason that comes from traitors. Did you just see they just caught a Chinese spy over there on the Democrats? How many times have they had spies in their cabinet because they love foreign nationals so much? They couldn't find an American for that position that they gave that Chinese lady. Maybe Soros and the rest of them knew she was a spy. And then you wonder why China is such a threat when you hiring their spies. You know, America under the Democratic Party loves everybody but Americans. Signing to you out of Detroit. This is Detroit's HBTVT. Support the nonprofit Detroit's Black Thought and Action Collective. As always, salute to all patriots. Keep your head on the swivel. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.